One of the best superheroes known as Webby is now in a bootleg form, so let's check him out. Hello and welcome back to the channel. Thanks to the guys from cttoys who sent this figure for a review. Today we're gonna take a look at a KO of MAFEX 190 Webman. And I will be honest with you guys, initially I had no idea who Webman is. I like Marvel, especially Spider-Man, but this one I had to look it up. I know, I'm not a real Marvel fan. It turns out that this is one of those obscure characters that only appeared once in comics, and it was all the way back in 1977 in a kid-friendly comic called Spidey Super Stories, which is actually what the packaging says here. It is basically a Spider-Man duplicate created by Dr. Doom using some kind of machine and a mirror. Funny thing is that he created two of these guys. First this guy, Webman, or Webby as he called him, and then the other one called Webby 2. I know, creative, right? So cttoys can literally re-release this same figure and just change the name on the box. I hope not. Taking a quick look at the packaging, it is a standard cttoys box for their MAFEX bootlegs. Here we can compare it to their 185 Spidey, and you see that it's the same thing but with different graphics. We have a window showing the figure, a promo shot down here, and up here we see Webman from a comic panel saying, "I am your evil mirror twin, Webman." Nice. Side of the box shows the same comics logo and another promo shot of the figure. Back of the box shows even more promo shots and an alternate head. Other side shows the figure in a vanilla pose, and that's something that cttoys does with their MAFEX releases. As you can see, compared to 185 Spidey, these are practically the same boxes. The same basic idea at least. We have Spidey logos at the top of the box, legalese at the bottom with a cttoys sticker. So now let's open it up and let's take a look at the figure. And here is our cttoys Webman out of the box, and as expected, other than the paint, it's the exact same figure as their 185 Spidey. Now, I'm not saying that this is a bad thing, it fits the backstory of the character. As already said, he literally is a replica of Spider-Man but in a different colors, so that the kids reading the original comic can know who is the hero and who is the bad guy. So thematically, it makes sense for both MAFEX and cttoys to reuse the same body mold for these two characters. But something tells me that this release won't appeal to all Spidey fans. This is for a more hardcore fans that want to have every Spidey version in their figure collection. That's at least how I see it. Judging it as a figure, it is good. I mean, 185 was good, and so this one will be the same. All of you who are familiar with cttoys already know that the only main issue with their Spidey KOs is the height. This mold is shorter and smaller in comparison to the original MAFEX releases. We will still do the comparison just in case someone new is watching this, but first let's take a look at the details. The head sculpt looks good. Everything looks nice and clean. I don't see any huge paint issues here. Here is how the back of the head looks, and what's always great to see, especially on these cttoys KOs, is how clean, most of the time precise, these web lines are. They really try to fill in all the sculpted lines so that the overall look is as clean and as precise as possible. So I appreciate that. And we can compare the two head sculpts just so that you can see that they are practically the same thing. I mean, not practically, they are the same thing but painted differently. Here is a look at the torso and the Spidey logo. That is also really well done. The muscles are nicely sculpted. Here is the back side of the figure. There is a little piece of plastic here that should be trimmed down. Not a big deal, I can do that myself. Spidey butt and the back of his legs, and then going back to the front of the figure, here are his arms, and of course on these cttoys bootlegs, these metallic pins are visible. It's not something that bothers me. The overall look is fine. It is as close as possible to the original release, the original body mold, but as I already mentioned, smaller and shorter than those originals. Let's now take a look at his accessories. Like all MAFEX stands and all cttoys MAFEX bootlegs, he comes with a display stand. Obviously Obviously, you have to assemble it yourself, but it's really easy to do, and it's always great to get another display stand. And when you take into consideration that this figure cost around 20 bucks, to get a translucent flight stand, that's incredible that we get all of that included in one release. He comes with a bunch of standard web effects. We have this one that can be plugged in somewhere, and it is meant to be used for when you want to pose him like he's hanging from the ceiling. And then we get this web effect for swinging. This part slides into his hands, and we also get a pair of longer web shooting effects and a pair of these shorter web shooting effects. Both of these loop around the wrist. And then, same as 185 Spidey, he also comes with an alternate masked head. We can compare them. The difference is obviously in the shape of the eyes. The eyes are much more open on this one, and I feel like the shape of the head is also a bit different. This one is a bit longer, while this one is more round looking, I would say. Here is how that other head looks on the body. And then he also comes with a bunch of alternate hands. First, we have a pair of these web shooting hands. You get a pair of fisted hands, a pair of web holding hands. These are meant to be used with this web accessory for swinging, a pair of dynamic open hands or wall crawling hands, a pair of those same wall crawling hands but with magnets, and a pair of alternate feet with magnets. We can swap these parts and see if the magnets are working, and to switch out the hands it's really easy, same as with the original MAFEX releases, and the same thing goes for the feet. And as you can see, the magnets do hold, they do work nicely. You have to align them perfectly to hold the weight of the figure, but as you can see, it can be done. The magnets are not as strong as we saw on their symbiote Spidey. The same thing was with their 185 Spidey. Now let's go through his articulation. The head and the neck have a nice range of movement, so he can tilt the head side to side. He can look down this much, up practically all the way. We have a generous butterfly joint. Spidey can reach his arm across his chest. Going back, the range is not as good as going forward. Arms rotate 360. Arms move out all the way. We have a bicep swivel, double jointed elbow, a swivel in the wrist, and the hands can hinge in any direction that you want. We have two cuts in the torso, the upper one and then the lower one. Both of them can give us side to side movement and a nice tilt. Spidey can bend forward this much and back even more. He has drop down hips, and so the legs can spread this much, kick forward and back. We have a thigh swivel, double jointed knees, ankle swivel, and feet move forward this much, back this much. We have a nice and generous ankle pivot and a toe joint. So all in all, it's a standard MAFEX / cttoys KO Spidey articulation. Let's now compare our webman to some other figures. Here is how he scales with the cttoys 185 Spidey that we already saw and cttoys Symbiote Suit Spidey. I have reviews for both of these figures. They are on the channel, so if you want you can check them out. Links for them will be in the description of this video, but I just wanted to show you once again that this is not the same body mold as this one. This guy is slightly taller. Here is how he scales with the original MAFEX 185 Spidey and the original Sentinel Peter B. Parker. And that's what we were talking about. You can see that cttoys body mold for this Spidey is much shorter than the original MAFEX release. Here is how he scales with cttoys bootleg of SH Figure Arts Spider-Man 2099 and cttoys Brown Suit Wolverine. Here he is next to the cttoys Agent Venom, a KO of Amazing Yamaguchi Revoltech figure, and an AliExpress MAF knockoff of MAFEX Venom. Here is how he scales with Marvel Legends Symbiote Suit Spider-Man and the SH Figure Arts Far From Home upgraded Suit Spider-Man. And finally, here is how he scales with AliExpress Max bootleg of Amazing Yamaguchi Revoltech 2.0 Deadpool. This is a great KO, by the way. And AliExpress custom bootleg of Marvel Legends Juggernaut. Another great AliExpress KO. So there you go. That was my look at the cttoys 190 Webman. Do I recommend this figure? I mean, if you are a huge Spider-Man fan and you want this version represented in your collection, sure, go for it. It's a different character, a bad bad guy, but it's still that same body mold that is really good, even though it's shorter than the original MAFEX release. I said it before, with all these fantastic cttoys releases, we can start arranging a dedicated cttoys display at our homes. These are some of the best bootlegs that were ever made in the history of action figure bootlegs. So even though I don't care that much about this character, it is still a fantastic figure simply because it's using the same 185 body mold. This guy is now available on cttoys AliExpress store. I'll leave a link in the description of this video, so if you want this figure, you can use that link. But that was all from me, and now I would like to hear you guys. What do you think about this character and about this cttoys figure? Do you have it in your collection, or do you plan on getting it? Is this an exciting release for you, or you don't care about this character? Let me know all of that down in the comments. Once again, thank you cttoys for sending this guy for a review. And as always, a quick shout out to my Patreon supporters for helping me to do what I do here on the channel. Everything that I earn over there goes into the channel's content, so if anyone else can help, please do so. Patreon link is down in the description. If not, that is also okay, you are still helping simply by watching and sharing my videos. So thank you all for watching, thank you for being here with me, and I'll see ya in the next video.